correlators to this. I think. Uh, what are your thoughts on the subgroup of children who already have had the virus and cleared the virus? I think they have a fundamentally different. Actually, maybe before I ask that question, let me just point out one thing. Whenever we think about vaccinating any group of people, there are benefits to the individuals getting vaccinated and risks to the individuals getting vaccinated, and potential benefits to aggregate society and other people. And when we talk about kids 5 to 11, I guess my feeling about that second part of the equation, the benefits to society or the benefits to the pandemic trajectory, is that the uncertainty bounds are massive. I mean, I think many people feel strongly that if we were just able to get these kids vaccinated, the pandemic will dissipate or it'll be a very different trajectory. But the truth is, it may dissipate without doing that by itself. It may have ebbs, and a few more peaks may come, all smaller than the fourth wave, but we still may get peaks because there's pockets of older people who are unvaccinated, and they're the ones who, if they get sick, they're going to go to the hospital. So I guess I would argue that it is rather speculatory to know what this vaccination campaign will do for society. And so if that's true, it's speculatory, we should focus more on the risks and benefits to the individual. I wonder how you think about that general framework.
Yeah, let me give you my perspective on that because I think you're absolutely correct. For example, remember when the human papillomavirus was first licensed and made available for adolescent females? It was not recommended for males. And there were many people that said, well, if we don't vaccinate males, we won't get herd immunity against HPV. And they won't, if a male's vaccinated, he won't infect the females. Well, the reason the ACIP did not recommend males is because one of the basic tenets of vaccinology is you can't vaccinate a person who isn't going to derive benefit from the vaccine. That is, you cannot vaccinate one person in order to protect another person. You can't expose the vaccinated person to the risks of the vaccine because, as you said, no vaccine is 100% safe without that vaccinated person deriving some benefit. And the recommendations from the ACIP changed in time as the drug companies did studies, and they showed that, wow, out of the 22,000 cases of cancer that occur, about 2/3 are cervical cancer, but 1/3 are cancers in males. Mm-hmm. So we can certainly justify vaccinating males because they will benefit themselves. And so you're absolutely correct. It's one of the basic concepts of immunology. That is, we have to be sure there's benefit to the individual. We can't, otherwise, what we're really doing is we're sacrificing our children to protect that 60 million adults or so who are so stubborn they won't get the vaccine, and therefore we're exposing the children to the risks. And what we're talking about right now is myocarditis, and that's not ethical. We've got to be sure that there's a benefit in children. And I think the conversation then gets complicated because if you look at the data that's currently available, the risk of hospitalization due to myocarditis in a male after the second dose of a messenger RNA vaccine is several times higher than the risk of a COVID hospitalization in that same cohort. So that gets to be an additional discussion that people need to have.